Once upon a time, the Fragments of Silicon saved the world. Now they're doing broadcasting. Adam?
All right. Welcome to another installment of Fragments of Silicon. Sorry, it's Discord, so hearing the theme is a bit harder here.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, so welcome to the show once again. Petty and Gallix are here. And so on forthwith to the news. Petty, why don't you start us off this week?
Oh man. Honestly, not a whole lot to report this week. Yeah, just still kind of getting adjusted to the whole, I can only really go places when, somebody has a day off. Still kind of sucks, but not a whole lot I can do about that. And, as far as gaming goes, I believe I have the last achievement for Sonic Frontiers now, so woo! One might say I kind of enjoyed the game a bit. Oh, I'm missing the Phantom Rush achievement thing. Ah, damn it. Oh, I'll figure that one out.
Phantom Brush?
There is a thing where if you fill up your combo bar, you unlock a mode called Phantom Rush.
Oh, Rush.
Yes. Sorry.
I heard brush, like paintbrush.
Oh, no. But yeah, that's going to be fun. Aside from that, I have been trying. What is that? It was just announced today at the Microsoft Connect thing. Was it Hi-Fi Rush or something like that?
Yeah.
The rhythm game thing.
That was the big shadow drop.
Yeah. So far it's been interesting, but it was kind of bugged for a little while, where it would only let me play the first level, and then just quit to the main menu whenever I tried to start the second. But I seem to have that problem resolved, so hooray. And yeah, just kind of quiet. I think I'm almost done with Pokemon Violet's Pokédex. I think everything else I need is just 2 of the legendaries and then the rest of the stuff from Scarlet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then just kind of waiting for the next Digimon set. Most of the people at the
It seems like it's been a while for that, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of balanced out because remember, EX3 came out less than 30 days after BT10 hit Street, so... So yeah, I guess a lot of people have been playing One Piece, the new One Piece card game. I have not really gotten into that because I don't have the money to start an entire new card game for obvious reasons. So it's eh. And yeah, I think that's it for me.
Okay. Well, Alex, it's your go.
Well, we hadn't had much snow this winter until last Friday. And then last Friday, and then this Monday, and then today, we're having significant snow. So, yay, I got to work from home 2 days, which is why I missed the whole concern about that. I completely forgot about we had a show on Friday. Uh,
So
Sorry,
if we hear
brain
silence from
skipped
me,
a beat there.
if we hear silence from you, just consider you were consumed by the wintry void. Got it.
I mean, I'm not super confident that we won't lose power, but I hope we don't. Knock wood. So yeah, that, and I think it should clear up by tomorrow, but so hopefully I won't have to work from home again, but we'll see. Video game wise, I'm working my way through the post-game gym leader rebattles and also finishing off some of the Pokédex things, like getting the rest of the Paradox thingies in Scarlet. And I have been continuing to play Splatoon 3. That's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, that's all I got that I can think of. I'll let you know if I remember anything.
All right. I guess it's my go. Let's see. There was an issue with my doctor's visit last week in that their scheduling office scheduled me to the wrong location.
God, I hate that.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Now, and so I'm going in tomorrow morning. This time I made sure everything was set up properly. Let's see, had to get the car battery in my vehicle changed. So that was the thing. And let's see, in terms of video games, I've been playing through, still playing Fate of Mirror, or sorry, Mirror of Fate HD. And I'm actually enjoying it more than the Lords of Shadow 1 game. I mean, it's definitely better than that game was. Still not, good as an actual classic Vania or Metroidvania, but what can you do? Though I haven't really been playing all that much the past couple of days because my finger's been, my middle finger's been swelling up. I think I damaged a cuticle. It's happened before. So, I don't want to strain the finger more by, repetitive actions. And yeah, that's my news for the week. So, merrily, we shall roll along to the interview portion of the broadcast. And joining us once again is John Pickett from MangaGamer.
Hello, it's always good to be back.
It's always good to have you. How are you doing?
I've been doing fine. How about you?
Seem to be doing well enough, all things considered. Right, it's actually been it's been a fair few months since we had you on the program last.
Yeah, back in what, August?
Something like that. And I know you've had a few releases since then.
Yes. We had a couple. We had Nightmare Sisters, and we had, which is a fun little nuki about some nuns that are trying to stop a demon cult and end up getting more than they bargained for.
Okay.
We also had How a Healthy Hentai Administers Public Service. This is the sort of sequel to the first Healthy Hentai game. It's set in the same world by hentai artist Butcher Yu. where sex is commonplace, and in public service, you basically follow the police force in this world as they go around solving problems with sex.
There's a lot to unpack there. But and I believe there's another game that's going up for pre-order at midnight tonight.
Yes.
So is it still technically too early to talk about that, or?
I might say it at the end of the podcast, because
Okay.
yeah, I have a feeling our website's going to get slammed once we announce it. So
Okay. But I suppose before we dive into those other titles, there's a couple of Steam releases here, that are also seemingly steamy. As we got My Boss's Wife is My Ex. Let's see, Reluctantly Drowning in Sex Deals After Hours.
yes, that one.
Which, I don't know, that sounds like a light novel title.
It's there's 3, I think, that we released on Steam, if I remember correct. Yeah, from Appetite. They're all very much Nuki-gay, very much focused on the sex. They are essentially your, classic, pizza delivery man style pornos, basically.
I'm like, I suppose we should actually, you've been using that term a couple of times, Nuki-gay.
Yes.
What does that translate from or into?
So it's a contraction of nuku and game. The gay comes from game. Nuku is basically to extract. I think everyone can imagine what those games are designed to extract.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if you don't know, you've not been here long enough.
Yeah. The answer is semen.
Yes, very much so.
Anyway, so this is the third one of these.
My boss's, yeah.
My boss, I'm guessing that the series is the reluctantly drowning in sex deals after hours, because, 3.
Oh, sorry. No, they're different. They're 3 different titles. My Boss's Wife is My Ex is one. I believe the other is
Okay.
Married. Give me a second to remember exactly which ones they all are. Yeah, one is Obscene Medical Records of a Married Nurse, and then the third one was Forbidden Love with My Wife's Sister.
Okay, that seems a lot more thematically on point, I suppose.
Yeah, the 3
it would be rough to fit all of that stuff in one game.
I mean,
You'd be surprised.
I mean, they're all 3 different games. They're set in different worlds, different characters, different stories. It's just they share the same developer, so that's why we kind of the developer. We were talking with the developer and decided to try, because we had released those 3 games on our own website a couple of years back, but we had talked with them and decided to try and see if we could get them released on Steam, and surprisingly enough, we did. So.
Did you have to edit anything for Steam?
No, we did not actually. They're just there on the adult side.
Right. I mean, I think that goes without saying at this point with titles like that. And indeed, the other one here falls under that range as well. Forbidden Love with My Wife's Sister, and there's the Obscene Medical Records of a Married Nurse. Must miss that. And in terms of sharing a developer, do they have the same kind of UI, or is there anything else that would make the games feel similar?
I mean, yeah, they're basically developed on the same engine, share the same eyes. They're all visual novels. the style's very similar, that they're kind of, fair, relatively on the shorter side as far as games go. And, they're both, focused on getting people off.
I mean, once again, these are like light novel titles except for porn. Now, like, just explaining the whole premise in a sentence.
Yeah.
I suppose another footnote before we move on to more recent releases is that the Kindred Spirits on the Roof has seen the release of the drama CDs on Steam back in November.
So those were actually technically released on Steam a few years back. It was more, we had to change how they were listed on Steam. Because so originally,
I was wondering
we had released them. Because originally the drama CDs, since obviously for people to enjoy kind of a Japanese drama CD, you kind of have to figure out a way to subtitle it, basically. So we had originally released them as videos, and they were originally available on Steam as videos, but Steam has closed down its video service. So we basically just repackaged them as a DLC, so you can download and have the videos like you would a soundtrack.
Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, so I suppose we should move towards the other porn releases, for like a better term.
Yep.
Right. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the titles here. I hate it when I'm not on the right note page.
Which one? Nightmare Sisters, or
that's the one. Nightmare. Nightmare Cross Sisters.
Yeah. So this is the first in the Nightmare series of games.
So how many Nightmare games are there?
I believe there's currently 3. We are currently working on Nightmare on Myoji, and we'll probably be releasing that within the next month or 2.
Okay. And what's the third one?
I believe that one is Nightmare Vampire.
Of course.
Yeah.
This one is the only one that seems to not go for the monster theming. I guess that depends on your stance on nuns, but and the Catholic Church, still.
Yes.
Anyway, so Nightmare Cross Sisters.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I suppose there's no dancing around it because of what you told me, but you mentioned when you brought this title up that there's a lot of, gang rape here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, that's pretty much the point of Nightmare Sisters. Is you have these nuns. They are exorcists. They are trying to fight back the demons that are able to possess the humans. But very, very early on in the game, they are, of course, defeated and kidnapped by the mysterious organization, the cult that sort of worships these demons, and are used repeatedly by the men in the cult to attempt to breed more demons. And so, this is absolutely a game for people who enjoy sex with multiple men coming over single women.
I'm not exactly sure how to respond to that. Other than, I suppose there was, perhaps only one of a few ways to take a premise like this. Either they get kidnapped and, have their advantage taken of, or they fight the demons with their sexuality. I think that was I think that's the premise of The Legend of Overfiend.
Mhm.
Some hentai title. I definitely remember that. That being like, you gotta fight the demons by fucking.
Well, I know. So I know the. Yeah, I definitely feel like I remember that hentai from back in the day too.
Yeah.
They do eventually fight off the cult and escape, and obviously that's kind of how it leads to the second one.
Right. So the stars of this game are the stars of all three games.
They are featured in each of the three games. Yeah, Setsuna Shindo, one of the nuns in here. She is seen in the second game. She's also in the third game.
But it sounds like there might be like more or different protagonists or in those.
Yeah, so obviously Myoji focuses a bit more around a new character who's introduced for that, who instead of a Catholic nun is sort of a Japanese Myoji and is also fighting against the dark forces. And then you have a new character in the third one who the title kind of says it right there.
Right. So I guess getting back to Nightmare Cross Sisters, and these are the pathways that this job sometimes takes us, because I'm like, and I almost can't believe I have to ask about this, but I do, and it's about the demons, because I do have to ask how human, non-human, like, are we dealing with tentacles here? Like, you know, got to get into the specificity of the demon sex.
So with the Nightmare Sisters, honestly, like as much as they talk about demons, most of the actual, easily at least 90% of the sex in the game is the human cultists having their way with them repeatedly.
Yeah.
Multiple trains being run on the nuns by the human cultists.
Yeah. I've seen hentai where it's been one or the other or both. Like, there's a surprising amount of variety in this field.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, if you haven't explored the depravity yet, like, or you might be too young. I mean, I am a bit concerned about that because
if you're too young,
brother,
you probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast.
Well,
at least not this episode.
Yeah, it's because my younger brother has introduced my nephew to this program, and yeah, we warned that MangaGamer episodes are not the kind that you should be allowing children to listen to, ever. So, if you are listening to this, stop.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah,
enjoying it. That's what you're doing with your life.
Yeah, I'm like, anyway, and I suppose I have to ask about bondage / clothing. In like, do clothes get shredded?
Oh yeah.
Are we using ropes, leather here?
I don't think there's too much in the way of like BDSM with like ropes and that kind of bondage. It's a lot more of just the men holding them down, or like it'll be kind of like their arms will be bound by something off camera so that they can have their way with it. That's about the extent of the BDSM. This is a game that's very much focused on the multiple people factor.
Okay. Once again, to an outsider, these might sound like unusual questions, but let me tell you, the fetishist is very particular with their fetishes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, the Nightmare series has one fetish that it caters to very heavily.
Yeah. I mean, and that's because we can't show that on stream. I have to kind of nail it down with words.
Well, let's put it this way. I had the fortune of like looking at one of the scripts they were working on, and so there's name tags in the scripts, and I glanced at like by the end of the script they're down to like man 25, man 26, man 27, and this is in one sex scene.
Yeah, they usually restart the numbering after scene changes.
Yeah, I'm like, it's one of the reasons why gangbangs never interest me too much. Like, but like, literally different strokes for different folks.
Eh,
Uh,
everyone's got their cup of tea.
yes, or a cup of milk, as the case may be. Like,
God damn
Like,
it.
watch it; it'll get spilled.
look, I mean, look, we're in this deep already.
I know. There's no way out, but keep going down.
Yeah, I'm like, look, all the titles we're featuring here are porn. This is what you're getting this episode, at least this side of the broadcast. No.
In future, maybe we could add a 18 plus content warning or something, but we shouldn't need to. I mean, like in the text and the title. But on the other hand, we shouldn't need to, since we swear enough anyway that it should be pretty much adult content anyway.
Well, I understand a lot of like broadcast and services differentiate between mature and adult.
Yeah, I mean, if we monetize this more, I suppose we would be more concerned about that. Like, or if we had a sponsor, like, but we don't, so who cares?
Woo!
Like, look,
Yes.
I'm sure the 15 cents made in ads will make up the difference. Like, anyway, let's see. So, I suppose we have to move on to healthy hentai administrators. Is it administrators or administrators?
Administers public service. Yeah.
Okay, it feels like there's a word missing here because, like, the healthy hentai. I guess
Minister is a verb, Adam.
Yeah.
I guess that's technically correct, but it's also the West has kind of corrupted the meaning of hentai because
Hentai is also a noun in this instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hentai means pervert in Japanese, but the West decided, oh, hey, we're just going to make it the genre of anime porn. So, just,
Yeah.
Anyway, Healthy Hentai administers public service. And you mentioned that this is basically the pervert police force having sexual relations for the public good.
Yeah. So the main character that you follow in Healthy Hentai Public Service has sort of graduated from the academy and joins the Office of Sexual Affairs as one of the sex officers that goes around and helps keep the peace in the town of Vaginville.
Oh my god!
You said that this is the one that's by Buchau?
Yes.
So yeah, this is by the same person who did the, like Hooters only actual porn
Yeah.
Comics, so
Yeah. And like by police force, do you mean like actual police? Like if they don't fuck, they have to arrest someone? Like, okay, how is this working here?
So it's like, I mean, they have like in Japan, like for example, in Japan, you generally have the like police boxes that are part of their community outreach program. And so in this game and in this world, the Office of Sexual Affairs, they very much do have these same, police boxes where their officers can go be stationed and people can walk up and get some sexual relief so they can relieve their, frustration and their needs and go about the rest of their day.
Huh.
They do also have like the special task force that gets deployed to relieve specific fetishes and basically dissuade people from their wrongdoing by relieving their sexual tension and leaving them passed out.
Remember, this is set in Japan, where the police have a rather different general reputation than they have developed here.
It's also, well, I'm like, so what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that this police force has a sexual SWAT team.
Yes.
Okay. Wanted to make sure, so do they get up in fetish riot gear, whatever? I'm trying to picture how that
Looking
works.
at the preview screen for this game, yes.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And they have to batter the door down with their erection, I guess.
Sorry. Or they're, bash it down with their butt, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mount the offending dicks.
Yeah.
Pacify them with very thorough poundings.
Yeah. And you mentioned that there's a wide variety of sex in this one.
Oh, yes. There's sort of 5 main heroines. I say 5, one being sort of twins. That your sort of main character can follow around, and each one very much caters to sort of different styles of tastes and genres. The Hiyori, her favorite sexual activities include being a cum dumpster and being used. Taki is her finesse is sort of the highly rated, and her areas of expertise are prostitution. One of the twins likes domination and humiliation. The other twin is very much on the service end of sexual fetishes, and then you have the Rinko, who is part of the riot squad, or in this world, Pussy Squad. That deals very much
like SWAT is a acronym, but
yes, acronym for peculiar, unusual, and specialized sexual intelligence. They go out and they deal with. She is a masochist, has a voyeurism kink herself, and her team very much deals with more of the irregular and extreme fetishes.
Can you name some examples here? Or are you too afraid?
I mean, this game is no maggot bait, so it's not that kind of extreme.
Okay.
It's very much... but it's going to be more your BDSM, your...
diaper-wearing fetish, or,
I don't think it actually has, diaper kink in it, but... Yeah, that end of the spectrum.
Yeah. I gotta ask: is there an actual police officer fetish in this game?
I mean, they all have their own highly fetishized police uniforms that they wear because they are part of the sexual affairs office.
Right, but more. Someone wants to fuck them because they're a police officer, not because the sexy uniform.
Are those different?
You'd be surprised. I guess that's more a real world question, since, I guess it'd be somebody who would, in this universe, would want to fuck somebody on the regular police force or something like that, or a meter maid. And it's I don't know. It's once again, these are the questions that crop up when you have a world like this.
I mean, I think that if anyone's if anyone has a fetish and wants to fuck police, then yes, this game is going to be great for you because that's essentially what these characters are in this world of sexual freedom.
Yeah. Because, and then you got the twist on that, which is called arrest fantasy, which is exactly what it sounds like. And
yeah.
So I know I know people might not be expecting this kind of talk, and usually we don't talk, but this is what John usually brings to our table. Like, increasingly so. Anyway, so is this one of those games where there's multiple endings or any sort of romance, or is it just pure fucking?
So there are multiple endings, mainly based on like which character you focus on. You do end up with sort of roots where the main character develops more of a relationship with that heroine, and so there's a little bit of a story there, but there's also a lot of fucking.
Of course. I would expect nothing less from a game like this.
Yep.
Right then. So, should we talk about mystery game number 5 here, or does that need to still be kept under the cloak of secrecy for a few more hours?
I suppose we can go ahead and talk about it. So, yeah. So tonight at midnight we will be, midnight Eastern time. I suppose I should clarify. We will be announcing and starting pre-orders for Rance 9, The Hellmanian Revolution. And so this is going to be our latest release in the Rance series. For those not familiar, tends to be more of a strong adult sort of gameplay and story-focused games. Rance 9 specifically is more of a tactical RPG. You have a customizable fortress that serves as the character's main base, from which you lead various offensive, defensive missions, use a wide array of skills to conquer enemies and territories as you follow Rance, aiding one of his former allies, Patton, in Patton's quest to reclaim and revolutionize his homeland, the Hellmanian Empire.
And I suppose, so what might be new or different in this release compared to previous Rance titles?
I mean, mostly it sounds like the strategy portion. I think most of the other ones are relatively classic RPGs, aren't they? I mean, aside from the porn aspect.
Yeah, I mean, you did have a strategy RPG with Sengoku Rance. But this is very much more about trying, like you said, you're very much more leading the revolution and trying to help reclaim the homeland. So you have, the customizable base is a big aspect that's new in this one. You have your whole fortress that you can custom out, and that gives you various bonuses and modifiers to different missions, and unlocks like the ability to unlock certain, forge items, forge equipment, all that kind of stuff.
And can you give out the release date yet?
Said like in 2 hours.
No, I mean it's going up for
pre-orders.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, the actual release date will be February 23rd.
Okay. Right, and I think that covers things quite well for this session. Is there anything else that you wish to announce at this stage?
I would say just make sure to come by and visit our website tonight when it goes up for pre-orders so you can grab your copy.
All right. All right, John. Well, as always, it was very enlightening and interesting having you on the program.
Uh-huh.
And hopefully we'll have you back on, say, March 15th.
March 15th. That sounds good.
All right. Till then, take care.
You too.
All right. All right. So, Petty, play us to the next segment. All right. I'm just going to assume that the music played. Discord and all that. It's one of the things I don't like about Discord. The music's so much harder to hear. Anyway, so welcome to the topic of discussion. So this week we are talking about Microsoft. As a lot of stuff happened with Microsoft this week, and I guess up to last week, because, well, first of all, Microsoft laid off a whole bunch of people, some 10,000 employees, which is like
something, not a small number.
About 5 or 6% of their workforce I've seen quoted. Like, the thing is that that wave of firing isn't unique to Microsoft. There's been that's actually been rather in line with the tech sector.
Yeah, especially because with how big everything bursted during COVID, and now,
yeah, from what is understood, like apparently, all the big tech firms overhired during the pandemic, and now that it's over, they're reducing headcounts. Also, because they're anticipating a recession soon. Also, juice up their stocks. Also, a lot of earning reports are coming up or have been announced. Microsoft had their earnings report a few days ago, actually. For example, get to that. Also, capitalism.
Yeah. Let's not forget the big also right there. Yeah.
Because, they didn't need to do that, but they wanted to do that. And that's all that matters.
Indeed.
Yeah. And in terms of the layoffs in relation to the game side of things, the reports have nailed down that the biggest development studios hits were 343 Industries, the Coalition, and Bethesda Game Studios. I think I saw the number, about 60 people got laid off from 343. I think it might have been like around 40 for the Coalition and 20 or so for Bethesda, and like single digits here and there across the others.
Now, what did the Coalition do?
The Coalition, they're the ones behind Gears of War.
Oh. Right,
Yeah. Or I guess they're technically speaking, it's now Gears.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, for whatever reason, they got pissy about the Gears of War and just shortened it down to Gears for the 5th installment going forward.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. It's not like it's a series that's marketed to kids.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they thought that was the case with the Funko Pop Gears thing. I don't know.
Maybe. The world will never know.
Possibly. But in particular,
I'll be honest, that one never got me at all. Like, I was at least aware of Halo.
I'm sure at a certain point you became aware of Gears.
I know what it is, but I know almost nothing about it aside from Chainsaw Gun and large mans.
You have to know chest high walls.
That was Gears of War?
Yep.
Yes. Anyway.
Like, I can name multiple characters from Halo. I can name maybe one character from Gears of War, and I'm not even sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, I only can name Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Anyway, the firings over at 343 have been the most acrimonious in that one of the I forget trying to remember the position. One of the people who was fired decided to let it all out in Kotaku, once again one of the publications, and the upshot is, and you might not believe this, but apparently 343 Industries is a very mismanaged studio.
Shock and awe.
Say it isn't so.
It's definitely less of a surprise if you've been following Halo Infinite's developments.
Oh God, don't get me started on that.
I haven't been following Halo Infinite, and I know that's been a shit show. And it's still a shit show, and it's probably even more of a shit show, given that they fired a whole bunch of people on the single player campaign side of things.
Yep.
Hell, 343 Industries had to put out a statement stating that they are going to continue making Halo games. Because apparently there was a rumor that they were going to be not making Halo games anymore.
Yeah, give it back to Bungie. I'm joking. Don't do that.
This is what I say. Look, you know what Bungie has become? No. Please,
they
no.
Couldn't do that. Well, they couldn't do that even if they had tried, because Sony owns Bungie now.
They could. It would just be very weird.
No, that's not happening. Yeah, it's so. Now, while they stated that they are going to make Halo games, we really don't know the future of Halo Infinite. That's a bit more murky, but I suppose that's not a change from the status quo.
Yeah.
So you're going to make Halo games. Are you going to finish making the one you started?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's not supposed to be finished. It's a live service title.
Yeah, but even live services sort of reach a mature stage, which I was not really under the impression had ever happened with Infinite.
Yeah,
I don't think we ever actually got online co-op for the campaign, so...
actually, that did come out last November.
That's right.
Still, rather late for, a relatively major selling point of the series for multiple games now.
Yep. Like I said, really not much more to talk in that space. Other than it's just a bad time all around. Though it might be connected to the earnings statement that Microsoft put out in terms of their video game sector, at the very least. Because they're not good, to say the least. Or put it another way, they're shockingly bad. in certain areas. And that is their devices and entertainment sector. Specifically, the amount of Xboxes they've sold. Down 13% this past quarter. The Christmas season.
I'm guessing not market saturation. Although not as bad as the PlayStation. Insert still nobody can get PlayStation 5 jokes.
Well, yes and no on that. From what I've been told, from what I've seen, the problem is on the Xbox Series X side of things. But the Xbox Series S has been readily available.
So as long as you want the shitty one that doesn't have a physical disk drive?
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah.
The less powerful one that doesn't have a disk drive.
Yeah.
I know that the disk drive no longer has the full versions of games on it anyway, but
still,
it's kind of annoying.
That's not good. And it's not the only thing that's down. Because let's see, gaming revenue down 13%. Xbox content and services down 12%. Game Pass subscriptions are up, but they still miss their targets, which may be a problem with Microsoft's expectations of their Game Pass targets more than anything else. But yeah, so in the case of Microsoft's systems, their problem hasn't been supply. Xboxes, even if it's the lower end, is still they're readily available. So you might be wondering, why is Xbox doing so poorly in recent times? And I can answer that pretty handily. It's because they have no games.
Yep.
Certainly no exclusives. Or at least not many.
Yeah, I guess that's technically not fair because they did have some releases. But look, as good as Pertinent and Grounded are, or Dusk Will Fall, these aren't AAA titles. These are smaller supplemental games.
Yeah.
Which I like that, but I'm not exactly your typical Vigigame consumer type.
Right. And look, Pertinent is a fine game, but it's not a game that's going to sell Xbox Game Pass subscriptions or Xbox Game Content. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. All of Microsoft's big guns either got delayed or are in a very messy state of affairs.
Like Halo Infinite.
I'm talking more about Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield has been their big, hopefully console seller for the past, 3 years? They've been hyping this up?
Not that long, if only because, Starfield has been in development for a long time. Microsoft only bought Bethesda, last year? 2 years ago at most? But,
it's still been the thing that they've been banking on, getting ready to hopefully sell some consoles.
Yeah. But yeah, and not the only missing in action title, as there have been other ones like Redfall was supposed to launch last year, but that got delayed. More on that in a bit. I'm trying to remember what else was announced. Microsoft's definitely been or stuff that's been announced, but has been having notable production problems, like Perfect Dark reboot. that was announced a few years back, being headed by the Initiative. But that's famously hit some speed bumps because they had to bring they've had to bring in Crystal Dynamics, and there's been rumors circulating around, Rare and Undead Labs and Playground Games. Just a lot of projects are kind of directionless. Granted, some of this is just scuttlebutt, but
Usually butts get scuttled for a reason.
Yeah. But I suppose to help remedy that, Microsoft did have their Developer Direct showcase today. And let's see. I'm not exactly sure where to place something like Minecraft Legends. I'm not I'm not exactly sure how well Minecraft spinoff titles do. I'm sure they do plenty well, but they're not exactly big guns for the Xbox ecosystem. If only because Minecraft appears everywhere, and Minecraft Legends is no exception. That's coming to everything on April 18th. I suppose one of the few bright spots in the current Microsoft empire has been Turn 10 Studios, because if nothing else, the Forza series has been coming out like clockwork, and they did have a in-depth look at what they're just calling Forza Motorsport, but you need to stop doing this because it's not Forza Motorsport. That came out in 2005. Nobody's going to call this
Forza Motorsport, the new one.
No, it's Forza Motorsport 2023. That's what people do with they have to give the name of the game followed by the year of release. Stop
and that
doing
drives Adam up a fucking wall.
Well, yeah, because you have to say the goddamn year on every single fucking time, and it's a pain in the goddamn ass.
Yeah, it's like, because you're not Doom, you're Doom 2016. We had a game called fucking Doom. It came out in 1993. Same with Mortal Kombat. You're not Mortal Kombat 9. You're Mortal Kombat 2009, because we had a game called Mortal Kombat coming out already. It's like, at least the Fast and Furious mix it up with a word. It's confusing, but there is a differentiator between Fast and the Furious and the Fast and the Furious. It's not much.
Fast, Furious, and or other.
Or Too Fast, Too Furious, and that is an actual title.
Yep.
My point is, stop doing the name reboot. As much shit as I give THQ Nordic for their goofy subtitles, at least they do that. Anyway, Redfall is coming out in May. That seems to be the big headliner here.
Redfall, is that the Elder Scrolls thing, or?
No, that's that's their version of Left 4 Dead, basically.
Oh, right.
Only with vampires.
Instead of zombies, or in addition to zombies?
Instead of zombies. I
feel like grunt vampires kind of rapidly approach zombies, except they just go around shambling blood instead of brains.
I'm not going to dignify that. Anyway, and the big surprise...
I can go into more detail about what I mean by that later if you want. It's not like just an offhand thing.
I don't want. Moving on. So we got a shadow drop out of this. Hi-Fi Rush from Tango Gameworks, and from the people who gave us The Evil Within.
Also,
like-
was it Ghostwire Tokyo?
Yes. But I think-
Ghostwire.
So they apparently decided to make Jet Set Radio.
It's not quite that. It's more of a rhythm-based action game than.
Okay, fine, Gitaro Man.
Jet Set Guitar Radio.
Yeah. The point being is like, and they I think announced this over Twitter, like that they went like in the complete opposite direction from The Evil Within. Fair enough.
Indeed.
This definitely looks like the opposite of The Evil Within.
It's almost to me kind of reminds me of if what's it, Sunset Overdrive and maybe Guitar Hero had one freaked up cocaine fueled love child.
Once again, it looks like Gitaru Man. I might be the only one who's familiar with that game series.
Probably.
I know it a little bit, but not really in detail.
It's a cult PlayStation 2 game.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the Elder Scrolls Online Necrom arrives in June. I know nothing about the Elder Scrolls Online.
I know that they're an Elder Scrolls game that has an online component. Other than that, I'm about where you are.
Yeah.
I've been told it's okay at best, but it's one of those it's not quite worth its subscription price level things.
And that's been Microsoft on the march. So, and indeed, that'll end our discussion this week and our episode of Fragments of Silicon. So, the week ahead. We do have a new episode of MSP happening in about 30 minutes. Do have a bit of a last minute note here, and I'll have to bring this up with Mac. We might not have a guest. He sent me a message over Twitter just like about a half an hour ago, or
Does he have to wax his cat?
no, his internet's cutting out.
I guess that is a reasonable but annoying excuse.
Yeah, apparently he's on hold with the cable company. Like, he sent a message like 2 minutes ago.
So theoretically, it could be resolved by then, or it could be worse.
Yeah. Well, so it's touch and go here.
Turns out the reason I was having internet problems is because my house burned down.
50-50 shot of that happening. Anyway, no Friday show this week. And coming up on the Sunday reviews, we'll be having reviews of Cosmic Cruiser, Head Over Heels, Chest Brain, and Villain's Legacy. Though those will be impressions. It's an early access title. But anyway, until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.